Good good day to everyone, especially to Sir Miggy. I'm here to present the description or the database normalization. Uh, Description of normalization. Normalization is process of organizing database. This includes creating tables and establishing relationships bet- between those tables according to rules designed both to protect the data and to make the database more flexible by eliminating redundancy and inconsistent dependency. Redundant data wastes disk space and creates maintenance problems. If data that exists in more than one place must be changed, the data must be changed in exactly the same way in allocations. A customer address change is much easier to implement if that data is stored only in the customers table and nowhere else in database. What is inconsistent dependency? While it is intuitive for a user to look in the customers table for the address of a particular customer. It may be not make sense to look there for the salary of the employee who calls on that customer. The employee salary is related to or dependent on the employee and thus should be moved to the employees table. Inconsistent dependency can make data difficult to access because the path to find the data may be missing or broken. There are a few rules for database normalization. Each rule is called a normal form. The first rule is observed. The database is said to be first normal form. If the first three rules are observed, the database is considered to be in the third normal form. Although other levels of normalization are possible, third normal form is considered the highest level necessary for most applications. As with many formal rules and specifications, real-world scenarios do not always allow for perfect compliance. In general, normalization requires additional tables and some customers find their cumbersome. If you decide to violate one of the first three rules of normalization, make sure that your application anticipates any problems that could occur in such as redundant data and inconsistent dependencies. The following prescriptions include examples. First normal form, eliminate or eliminate repeating groups of individual tables. Create a separate table for each set of related data and identify each set of related data with a primary key. Do not use multiple fields in single database, table to store similar data. For example, to track an inventory item that may come from two possible sources, an inventory record may contain fields of vendor code 1 and vendor code 2. What happens if you add a third vendor? Adding field is not the answer. It requires program and table modifications and does not smoothly accommodate a dynamic number of vendors. Instead, place all vendor information in separate table called vendors. The link inventory to vendors with the item number key or vendors to inventory with the inventory key code. Second normal form, create a separate table to sets of value that apply multiple record. I-relate this table with a foreign key. Record should not depend on anything other than a table's primary key. For example, consider a customer address in accounting system. The address is needed by the customer table, but also the orders and shipping, invoices, accounts receivable, and collection tables. Third, normal form. Eliminate fields that do not depend on the key. Values in a record that are not part of the record's key do not belong in the table. In general, anytime the contents of a group of fields may apply to more than a single record in the table, consider placing those fields in a separate table. Other normalization forms, um, fourth normal form, also called Boy's Code Normal Form (OBC) and F, and fifth normal form do exist but are rarely considered in practical design. Disregarding these rules may result in less than perfect database design, but should not affect functionality. All these are all database normalization, and thank you, Sir Miggy, and God bless.